Well, welcome to the United Matters channel. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rock and David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel. Goncalo Inacio is wanted by Ruben Amorim at the club of Manchester United. That is it. The manager of Manchester United wants Goncalo Inacio at Manchester United. And it is really one of those stories that is really very challenging because we've been linked to very many left wing backs. And for me, I believe this is the best of all choices that have gone ahead to be made by the club of Manchester United. I think that's why Ruben Amorim is pushing hard to obviously get in this player. Continue to subscribe. We are left with is it 25 subscribers to hit? 25 subscribers to hit. We are left with 25 subscribers to hit 200 and 100 subscribers. So please, let's obviously do the needful and see to it that that comes to pass and it comes to happening. 300 likes, which must on this video, and let's obviously go into this story. Now, Abola have told us that United have offered a loan of £34 million obligation to buy for Goncalo Inacio. His agent was in England to hold talks with the club this week. Now, this is really very exciting for the club of Manchester United that we are in for Goncalo Inacio. This is not the first time United has always gone ahead, obviously, go in for Goncalo Inacio. If at all you've been following up the transfer news that we broadcast on this channel, I think even when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was here, we've been linked to this guy. I think it's 4 consecutive summers when United has been linked to Goncalo Inacio. And people might even forget how old this guy is because by the previous 4 seasons, United wanting him, people will be like, how old is he? The guy is just 23 years of age, meaning that United has been scouting this player since he was 18, 19, and that's how good this player is. And the beauty of Goncalo Inacio is that he can play as a left wing back, he can play as a left-sided center back, he can play even in the center of the central defense, and you can as well play him in the midfield. And that's why I've told you that he's the best option for Manchester United, obviously coming through. But United have offered a loan plus a £34 million obligation to buy. And I think however much the agent was at Manchester United to obviously hold talks, I tell you what, this side want to obviously accept that money. I think that's really little money for this guy. £34 million, it's like 40 million euros. I don't think they can even get tempted to sell him, but all I know is they can find themselves falling for 50 million euros. I tell you, that is like 43 million pounds. That's what I think United can use to obviously see to it that they tempt Sporting Lisbon to obviously get in this player. And I'm a little bit skeptical about this because their manager, or their former manager, who is at Manchester United, has come out and told us that he's not gonna go to their side and obviously sign a player. You know, that if at all there is need for him to go and sign a player from Sporting Lisbon, it won't be during the January transfer window. And I think let's read out and see how it obviously pans out, whether the man is right or not. But I tell you what, it looks like United are in for a left wing back, and in the next days we are going to be seeing stories coming in through linking into the left wing back. Now, his contract situation is expiring in 2027, meaning that he's left with 2 years to go, and if he reaches the summer or 30th June this year, he'll be left with just 1.5 years to go. And I don't think that he will have any urge to obviously extend his contract. He won't have that urge to extend his contract. It will be like, please, if you don't sell me now, then you won't sell me. I'll obviously go as a free agent. And for Sporting Lisbon, they know exactly what to do. If they are to sell him during the January transfer window, I think they'll call in for 50 million euros because the player still has 2 years left on his contract. You understand? So if he has 2 years left, by the way, he has 2.5 years left on his contract because 6 months now Then you add on the remaining 2 years of 2026 and 2025, 2026, 2026, 2027. Those are 2.5 years, meaning that they are not in a hurry. And when it comes to the summer, they can obviously sell him for like 50 or 60 million euros because very many teams like Liverpool have shown interest in signing the player. But the big positive for us is that they're under the same agency, that is the AS1 agency. You understand? AS1 agency, that's what the player is at. And when you look at the situation in which we are into, United is really desperate. Even if his agent has been at the club trying to obviously put in talks with the club, I think what will matter is the last word coming in through from the guy. It's the last word coming in through from the man himself, the president and the board of Sporting Lisbon. Because even if the agent comes here and agrees the personal terms with Manchester United, it won't make sense for him as an agent until he really agrees to obviously coming through and see to it that the club of Manchester United is the club of Sporting Lisbon is at par with the club of Manchester United on the offer they are willing to obviously give this guy. So that's what you're really having from Goncalo Inacio. But all in all, I love him as a player. And amongst all those that you are being linked up to, I prefer him because he's a versatile player. He can play in the midfield, central defense. He can also play as a left wing back. That's the most important bit of this player, and that's why I'm really intrigued into this. And Nuno Mendes is one of those that Man United has been linked to for some time, and I'm like, PSG will make it hard for us to get this player because they also need him. But for Sporting Lisbon, they know they are a selling club, provided you come with the right amount of money. And for PSG, even if you come with the right amount of money when they want to keep the player, they'll keep the player. That was well evidenced in the deal of Kylian Mbappe, as Real Madrid made a bid of 160 million euros. They were like, no. Yet the player was left with just like a year on his contract. They're like, no, he's going nowhere, and even they lost him on a free. So that's PSG for you. If they can do that with Kylian Mbappe, why not onto Nuno Mendes? So that's why I tell you, it's very important for us to go in for Goncalo Inacio, for clubs that are 100% willing to sell. And that is none other than Goncalo Inacio. Now, as we are looking in for Goncalo Inacio, that means there are supposed to be outgoings, and ever since return from injury, he has never gone ahead to obviously get a setback. That is the player himself, known as Tyrell Malacia. And we are having a story coming in from Morik92. He works into Radio Bianconera, that is in the city of Turin, that is in Italy. He has come up and obviously told us the following about a player called Malacia, that Juventus could end up striking a last-minute opportunity for Tyrell Malacia on loan until the end of the season. So that means United also want to there is an opportunity for us to obviously get in some loan fees, and that's why they're offering Sporting Lisbon a loan with an obligation to buy. You understand? But the problem is the obligation to buy, the amount of money that is into the deal is not so sexy to attract Sporting Lisbon, because when you look at the transfer market, Goncalo Inacio value is 45 million euros, and I think he's really having a very fantastic season where he is, and there is no one can come up and obviously do this for the player. They should obviously call in for 50 or 60 million euros because they rarely bow down or get bullied. For example, even if you followed the summer transfer window when they really had Gyökeres, very many teams wanted Gyökeres, but in the due course of wanting him, you knew what went ahead obviously happened. It really required a lot of negotiations, but they said we are not letting the player go unless otherwise a team really triggers his buyout clause. You understand? So for Tyrell Malacia to go to Juventus, we wait and see. That will be one of those sparks that will obviously create vacuum for us, or create room for the coming in through of a left wing back that United want. And I think it's going to be hard for Manchester United obviously signing a player on a permanent, unless otherwise we sell in a homegrown player, either Marcus Rashford, Kobe Mainoo, or Alejandro Garnacho. That's when you can obviously go in to sign players permanently. If not that, I don't see us signing players permanently, because if you have to sign players permanently, we would have gone ahead obviously go in for one. But even a loan is really hard for us to execute at this level. That is really very annoying, and it shows you that it's not really good. And it shows you that the manager is really one of those that is not interested in Tyrell Malacia. Even today, where Dallo was absent because he was really red carded when playing against us on the FA Cup, a lot went ahead to happen. And this side of Malacia has not featured into the starting 11. We wait and see how that will pan out. Right now, the game is really 1-0 in favor of Southampton, and it has been the best side during the first half. And Ruben Amorim has talked about the defensive change. Why Lenioro coming for Harry Maguire? He has told us that Harry Maguire is tired and he had a tough week. I think Southampton will play without a striker and with more speed in front. Lenioro is a quick player, and he's a top talent. He's ready to cope up with the demands of the game. That is what the manager has gone ahead to say. And his design of the game has been really okay, but I've always told you that there are players we are missing out. We are missing out on a creative spark. And as we go into the second half, the manager is going to hit obviously get in Anthony to play as a right wing back, and obviously see to it that Amadi Diallo gets closer into the number 10 position alongside Bruno Fernandes to obviously feed Rasmus Højlund. So your thoughts onto that are welcome in the comment section below. Goncalo Inacio and Nuno Mendes, who do you prefer to be one of the best into the best in class to help Man United really solve that left wing back problem? And you see to it that it's not really giving us the best that we deserve in as United in creativity. I'm out. Bye bye.